Hey, let's try our hand at a fall themed hydrangea wreath. So they seem to be very, very popular for the summer and the spring. These I bought on a super, super clearance at Michael's one year. They've been hanging around for a while. They've been in a bin for me. I did already take off the leaves from the other blooms. So I took those off and I added a pick, and we'll do that in just a couple of minutes, but we'll do that together so I can show you what I mean. I'm going to set those aside for just a minute. I'm not going to use the stem, and the stem is actually longer. I just cut it to make it a little bit more manageable for the video. So I'm just going to cut it right at that very first notch here. And usually I don't, and I'm going to call it like poke, stab, whatever you want to call it. Just put the stem into the grapevine. But in this case, I'm going to. Okay? In this case, I'm going to. And what I'm going to do, because it's a little more difficult to grab the glue and kind of push it in, because I'm going to put my fingers right down in there. So what I'm going to do, I put my glue gun on, my heavy duty glue gun, and we'll put the florals in first and then take the glue gun in. So what I'll be doing, which you won't be able to see because this bloom is so big, it's beautiful, by the way. What I'll be doing is I'm going to show you this. I'm going to push it right in. With that one, that part went easy. Wow, that was easy. Put it right in. It'll come through the back. So I'll take the stem off in the back with both hands. Oh, maybe with not both hands. Holy moly. It was just the angle that I had it in. Sorry. It wasn't that bad. Okay, I'll put that right in like I had it. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll come back with my glue gun and just real generous, but not overflowing, I'll put glue right where that stem run into the grapevine so it'll attach it. Okay, and then for everything else, we will we'll glue it as we put it in. But for this particular step, we're going to go ahead and do it just like that. So I think we'll go there. The one thing I want to make sure is I cover this piece. If you're looking for how there's a specific video in our YouTube that is just for like shaping and prepping the grapevine. So if you want to see that, there's a separate just for that. Okay, so I have two different colors. I would have preferred 3 and 3, and I thought that was in my bin. I've been clearing out bins. That's why I'm doing fall in, technically I'm recording this in May. Not too far off from where we should be, if you're a wreath maker, by the way, where you should be creating fall. Anyways, I thought there was 3 and 3, but lo and behold, there is not. So there's 2 of the burgundy color and 3 of this beautiful orange color. So all I'm going to do is put them in, not directly close, like on top of each other. I do want there to be a little bit of space, and I'll put that right in. This one also has to be cut a little bit. I think they'll probably all work, or all will have to. So I'll put that right in. Make sure it's in a little bit. Now I'm going to put it a little bit further apart. So this vine is here. That's going to stop me from putting it probably exactly where I want it to go, but I think this will be fine. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Then I'm going to go back with another orange. We'll cut that. All right, cut that. Oh, that one slid in really good. See how we're going here. Okay, then we have another. This one is pretty short, but we'll cut it a little bit shorter. And I'm talking, it's pretty short. Now it depends on your grapevine, but this is, I think it's about 1 inch. Yeah, they're about 1 inch. Okay, and I'm putting them again, not so that they're just, if they are touching, just barely. Okay, but I'm just trying to make sure that they are same distance. There we go. Stay. Okay, and then one more And then that's probably going to get in my way there, but we'll figure it out. So I kept all those. These are they're so big. They're actually these ones are from Michael's. They were $6.99. Now this is when I bought them, okay? So it might not be that way right now. And let's try to get them maybe a little bit closer together because you see, here's where that other one would have went. And I want this to be a little more gappy. So we'll put them a little bit further together, a little bit closer together. Which is fine. There we go. Okay, there we go. Just like that. Perfection. Love. Good spacing. Okay. These colors are absolutely gorgeous. Wait till you see the ribbon that's going to go in. All right, so I'm going to take our glue gun and secure them in place, just like I was telling you I was going to. Secure them in place. Every single one. Get it in there. Get the glue going. Seems like it's a little hot. There we go. It's fine. Get it in there. Glue, 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 glue. Attach, attach, attach. Perfect. So that was easier to me, especially since we had to move them. That was easier to me to get it in. I'm going to hold this one in place because I got to kind of push it down a little. There we go. Okay. These are gorgeous. So I bought them, and this is the reason why I didn't have 6 after I thought about it. I bought them on super sale. So they were what was left after fall, like once fall went on like a little more of a deeper sale. Okay. So just gorgeous. Now, if I just left it like this, I mean, I've seen them for sale like this. It's all a matter of what you prefer. I've seen them for sale like this, but we're going to add a little bit more. Those leaves, those green leaves, I'm going to add last because you're going to see it change completely when I put the leaves in. Okay. So we're going to start with this one. Yeah, we're gonna start with this one. So this is a eucalyptus. It's very plasticky, okay? Which I don't normally like, but I think it's gonna be just fine for this design. And they are not pushables, okay? They're not pushables, meaning I can't take this and push them all up and gather them together, okay? Whereas normally, if I call it a pusher, if you hear me call something a pusher, I can push that up and it will become fuller at the end. Okay, it won't be so long. The good thing is we can cut this one in half and give us more than what we started with. Okay, so we're going to do that. And it's also cool because this kind of gives it a little bit of an ombre look. And we're going to turn this one into 3, which is really cool. And it has, in the description of this video, you'll see the SKUs. You will not see the SKUs for these because only one, but they were from Michael's because I must have not kept the other ones. So I can't remember what color. I think it's that orange that you'll have the SKU number 2, but they are from Michael's. And all the, well, I can't say really all the big box stores now because there's really only 2 main ones now, Michael's and Hobby Lobby, but they'll both have hydrangeas for the fall. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and add in. Now, I do have a couple more left on that stem, and these are gonna blend in pretty good because they're the same color-ish, okay? The same color-ish. So I'm going to make sure I get up underneath and I'm going right, sliding it into that grapevine, okay? It's sliding into the grapevine. And helpful for it to be up underneath the hydrangea. It still sticks out nice, but the glue part of it will be hidden nicely underneath the actual hydrangea, which is nice. Now, if you find you're like, oh man, I can see glue, if it's really bad, pro tip, you can always use moss to cover up your excessive glue. Okay. And I'm just trying to, whoopsie. I'm just trying to get it into the grapevine. Now you can see, sometimes I'm putting it in this way, sometimes I'm putting it in this way, because it is so compact and there isn't, I mean, there is a direction obviously, but I want it to be full and cover up both ways. And so I'm not necessarily saying, okay, well, it's all got to go in this way. I'm just going whichever way I feel like is necessary to get us full. Okay. Let's not forget that center there. Well, let's get that edging in the middles here full. So the first hydrangea I ever made was for my brother and sister-in-law. It was with leftover florals from their wedding, and it turned out beautiful. I added a nice, great big, giant initial monogram to the open end. So it's an easy conversion. It's an easy conversion to personalize is what I'm getting at, right? Easy to personalize and to get it into, you know, for someone special or specifically for a gift, that sort of thing, right? Okay, let's put this one over here. It's dragged glue all along there, so that wasn't very good. And then let's just get rid of these and use the last two. Again, the SKU number I will put in the SKU numbers, I'll put in the description. So I appreciate you being here on our newsletter list. This is specifically just for you. I hope that you are always following and watching our lives, our Facebook lives. Okay, and we'll find a spot for all these pieces. Number one, this is going to go over here. And this is going to go up under here, right up under here. Nice generous amount of glue. Right in between here. Now I would not, I don't want to say I would have preferred, but I'll say I did look for a green fall color eucalyptus to go in this design, and I didn't have any. That was the color I wanted, so I just left it the way I left it as is. This is going to be just fine. This was what was in the bucket that I had originally, so it is doing a fine job. Okay, all right, so easy. Let me zoom you out just a little bit so you can get the, don't mind my mess over here all over the place and the different ribbons, sorry. Okay, so next, now what I'm going to put in next is simply just to use the bush, okay? I'm not even 100% positive that I'm going to use it, but this bush I've been moving around forever. You see I've plucked off leaves before. It is just all the different colors and all the different things. And I really did want to use it. Let's see. No, maybe I'm not going to use it. I'm still going to save it. All right, it's fine. Still going to save it. Let's go in for that green. I think that might be it. Let's add a bow. Now you're thinking, what in the world? How are we going to get a bow in there? I'm not talking about a great big giant bow. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about anything crazy big. Let's put this a little bit more in position over here. There we go. Crazy big, just something real simple. Okay, real simple. We'll add the bow and then we're going to add the green. Wait till you see how this just like brings it all the way up, just elevates it. All right, I have 3 ribbons for our bow. A super simple bow. Not a lot of ribbons by all means. Oops. Not a lot of ribbons by all means, not a lot. Okay. And we have, it's going to go right down in here. Sorry, getting in your way. It's going to go right down in here. Let's see if this is good. So remember, I got to consider that it's going to be right down into the grapevine to, there we go, perfect. All right, right down into the grapevine. Hydrangea, wreath. So we have about a 7. Ooh, this is kind of big, about a 6.5. And I don't mean big, I mean big from compared to what I normally do. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take that position and pinch, pull it apart, twist, another big loop, pinch it together, twist, and that's it. So I'm going to go 1 tail, 1 loop each. Okay, 1 tail, 1 loop each. This is one of my favorite fall ribbons. I love this ribbon. Then we're going to go with a burgundy. Okay, this burgundy. So break it up a little bit. Break it up a little bit with that color. I'm just thinking about what my next ribbon is. And I have a glitter ribbon, but I think it's going to be fine. All right. Same thing, we're going to go with a tail and the loop. Make sure it's a little bit smaller than the last one, just a little bit. I still want those loops to be big enough to come out and poke through those florals. Beautiful color here. And you know me in solids. If you've been following me for a while, you know I'm not really a solid type of ribbon person. And this is the embossed, so even though it's a solid in my little brain, it is still a patterned ribbon. I think this will be fine. I don't like, I'm not gonna say I never, I don't like to do glitter when there's no other glitter, but this is enough, that shimmer, that copper is enough for me to add this to the top. So I'm going to add this one big, now it still has to be pretty big because it's got to stick out in the center. So I'm going to pinch that, twist, another nice big loop, pinch. So if you're a wreath maker and if things are like, you know, frustrating or you're not sure and something's holding you back, like if you don't know how to price things, if you don't know where to sell, if you, whatever the case is, like your family and friends are over you trying to sell them a wreath. I get that too. Oh, we need a zip tie. I get that too. And so if you're in that position, just know you have to educate yourself. Okay? You have to educate yourself. You have to figure it out. There are so many other creators, other content people I have classes for you. There's so many ways for you to find the information, valid information, good information, to help you in your journey, that and I'm going to say this lightly and with all my heart, your excuses, right? Your excuses are just that. Find time to learn. I didn't know how to do any of this either. I had a creative brain for sure, but I didn't know how to ship. I didn't know how to work Etsy. I'll be honest, I still don't think I really know how to work Etsy. I just learn as I go, right? All right, nice big, kind of floppy here. Not floppy, but nice big loops. And we'll take that wire that we added, and we'll use that to wrap it around the grapevine and attach in our spot. Sink it right down in there. Just don't want that wire to catch anything on the way. I want it to go right to the frame. And when we put the middle of our bow in there, I don't want it to bring anything else down with it. So I'll reposition the hydrangeas after I get this in. And I specifically did want it to be like that. That's why my loops were kind of a little bit long. I want it to not be like this great big, oh, there's a huge bow taking over the whole, the whole design. That's not what I wanted. You can, if you want, that's up to you. I didn't want it that way specifically. I did want to be able to get the center of that bow snuggled down into the grapevine base, but I wanted those loops in the tails to be long enough to come poke out like they are going to. Just a minute. Get that up in there nice and tight. Perfect. All right. So we're going to come in. Just like this. And like this. We'll end up cutting that one a little bit. This one a little bit in here. Absolutely in love. I'm going to open that loop a little bit so that it sits kind of, there we go. Just opened it, the loop, so that the hydrangea kind of sat in it, so that I can get that hydrangea to sit where I wanted it to. Perfect. Just gonna, oh yeah, love, love, love. Nice big loop. So even though I didn't want a big bow, they're big loops, but they don't look big, right? Let me zoom you back out here. Don't mind my mess. Okay. Love. Perfect. It's going to sit just like that on the door. Okay. Let's add in those green leaves. Now, one thing I'm going to show you is what I did. You don't have to do it this way. You can use green picks. There's green wooden picks at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, most of your craft stores that you may purchase from. There's green picks that are long wooden picks, and they have a piece of wire on the end. And so what happens is this, although this is probably sturdy enough to get it in where I want it to go. It's also, adding the pick is going to add a little bit of length on it, so it might give me the spot that I want it to truly go, okay? So this is doing a couple things. When you have a piece of stem, let's see this one, you know, this part, you see how it's like not sturdy? It's not sturdy. So if I added a pick, excuse me, to the end of this, it would give it, you know, some strength to push into the grapevine or into the foam or however I'm doing it, right? So this is just going to add a metal pick to it, okay? So all I'm going to do is load it so that the pick comes out, take my stem, put it where I want, and then push down, okay? And that pick will hold on there, and now I have a little extended metal piece to the end, right? So not the, you know, it's, oh, not that one. Where'd the other one go? Here it is. Sorry. Not the one that is, it's small, it's short, it's bendy. You know, there's not enough. There's not enough. I need more. So I'm just going to take it and put it in, load the machine, put the stem down, and push. Okay, it'll grab onto it. This is also a great machine to use if you want to add a couple of small, like I could pluck off a couple of these pieces, the little hydrangea pieces, and I'll put all the little stems in there together and make my own little pick. And I could use that for, you know, wherever I want. If I wanted to take one hydrangea and add the little petals to a larger wreath, I could do that. I could pluck off the little ones, add stems to it. Anyway, okay, now we're going to take these. Let's do a dry run first because we don't have a ton of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Should have had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Should have had 10. Where's the other one? It's all right. Okay, let's do a dry run. Actually, we don't have to do a dry run, but let's put a big one over here on the end. Okay. Watch how much this elevates our design. Just kidding. It's not even going to go in. Come on, baby. Go where I want you to. Listen to me. There we go. There we go. Try another bigger one. Right up under here. I'm looking, kind of parting the ways over here and getting that up in the grapevine. All I'm doing right now is making a mess. I'm so afraid of pushing on those because some of these might be sticking out too much. Like these ones might be sticking out too much. I'm so afraid of pushing on those because that will fillet your fingers. Okay? They're very sharp. All right? So just be careful on that. Really careful. Go up underneath here. I'm just trying to balance my way up, trying to get in a decent spot. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, why wouldn't you do this first? Well, I do it last so that I get them right exactly where like I feel like I need them, right? Or want them. You know, especially since you saw us put in the hydrangeas and then we moved them, we shifted them. So I wouldn't want to put the leaves in first just because they're such a huge pop, right? Everything else is kind of brown and burgundy and that kind of color theme. And this is very different. So it's going to pop real clear, right? Just want to make sure we're headed in the right direction here. So I'm going to put this one right through here. Helps if I can see where we're going. Also helps when you don't stick your fingers in the glue. Helps when you don't stick your fingers in the glue. Hydrangeas, again, are a very popular style. It's a very popular style. That kind of hurts. Sorry. And then another one right up underneath here. Okay, give me some light. Go right up underneath here. And I'm just going into the grapevine as best as I can get it, as far as I can get it in. Perfection. I love, 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 love. Now with these in, I feel like, oops, we have a couple more of these we can put in. With these in, I feel like we could add in some of those leaves that I was going to put in because it kind of brings our sight line out a little bit. Oh, I had a couple of these. Let's see where we had some. Here we go over here. So I'm just looking for gaps. We got one more. Right into that. Such a pretty design. So pretty. Now, I wonder if now we can put in those. Let's see here. Ooh, yeah. Except, I don't think I'm going to put those picks on. Let's do that. I'm going to add a couple. So I'm going to add a couple right to where I think we can get them in. And these are definitely, the stems are definitely not, sorry, that's super annoying. The stems are definitely not firm. They're flimsy, but they're not as flimsy as the ficus that I was showing you. So I'm just going to try to do my best to get a good glue on there and slide it in where I think it could stay. And these leaves are not all perfect. Some of them are crunchy and wrinkly and not great, so I'm not going to pull all of them. So pretty. Kind of love that they're all a little different though. So pretty. You cannot see this from your view, but this is definitely a good ad. I don't think you can see it from your view, but this is a good ad. Perfect. Another big one. Right up underneath here. Just make sure I'm not getting my leaves in just the stem in the glue, not the leaves, right? Oh, this is so pretty. Absolutely perfect. Some glue where I shouldn't. So this is what you call just using up, or maybe you need a little bit of brown up here. Using up things honestly, I'm not trying to be mean or rude, but just things I'm tired of looking at. I've been not using and not using and not using, and finally I'm like, all right, I gotta move this out of the way so I can make space for something else, because I'm done looking at this, right? That was these leaves. I'm done looking at those. I'm done. I want something else to replace that spot. So let me see here. Oh, yes. That is so pretty. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I'm going to put this one right in there. I hope you're subscribed to our YouTube. You are already on our email list, so I appreciate you again for being here. Just perfect. Hope this was inspirational. Even if it's May, don't fall behind like I was, like I always feel like I am. You know, start your, especially if you're a wreath maker, you do this for a business, you do this for a living, start your other seasons so that you don't fall too far behind. I appreciate you for being here. This worked out just absolutely perfect. The bow is perfect. So not all bows have to be like 20 million ribbons deep. This is just nice and simple, adding that little bit of shimmer and shine. Really pretty. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Look in the description. I'll have the SKU numbers of things that I did have, and we'll see you again next time. Bye, y'all.